Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 10 of the Chris Knott Insurance UK Touring Car Championship here with the AROC Racing Leagues. We are at Silverstone this weekend, and apologies for the delay in proceedings. We've been having a couple of technical issues that we are mostly at the bottom of now, so we're ready to race here for race 2 of this weekend. I'm not entirely sure how the championship standings are going to work. We've got a few drivers on the grid, but we are in about 30 seconds ready to go here at Silverstone. I am joined once again by Mr. Lewis Bowers.
Hi everyone, really nice to be back. A bit of an interesting start to the evening, but let's hope the races carry on as usual.
Yes, with about 20 seconds until lights out, we've had no qualifying, so we've got a pretty mixed grid. The drivers have just been enjoying the 156 WTCR car, a bit different to the classic 75 that we're in at the moment, but we are ready to go nonetheless. It is James Rose on the podium, Greg Young running second, Will Harper in third, and Rob Whitney in fourth. It is 6 red lights on the gantry. And we are off. James Rose getting a very good launch there, and it seems to be a bit of lag going there, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. I do apologise for that, but it looks like it's about to be 3 wide heading down into the first corner. As we see Matt Daly trying to shuffle his way past, that's not Greg Young, that's Rob Whitney there. He's trying to shuffle his way past, and he does so with ease. As we see James Rose still holding that lead for the moment, about half a second between James Rose and Will Harper, as we see Greg Young diving down the inside there and heading into turn 3, trying to go side by side with Will Harper, but he's a little bit further back. You see James Rose running quite wide, going off the track a little bit there and making contact with Greg Young and Will Harper. There's a big crash there. He's facing the wrong direction. Luckily, all the other drivers have been able to get past him, but yeah, what a shame to see his race come undone like that after starting on pole.
Yeah, very much so. It does not look as though that was very much not the start that anyone would have wanted in their race. As we see there, Matt Daly inheriting the lead from that incident. Hopefully, it's not too much of an issue where we can see a bit of a fight back from the back of the grid there as we come through kind of the halfway point of lap 1.
Yeah, we see Steve Knight dropping back from the order there. Apologies. We will try and get this lag sorted as we go through the race. It should be a fairly easy fix. We've seen Matt Daly still in the lead at the moment. It's pretty much a slideshow that you're watching at the moment, as we see Rob Whitney still running second, about a second between him and Matt Daly now, as Will Harper is gaining on him, about 0.4 of a second separating them now. Yeah,
they come right up behind each other, running right up onto the exit curbs there on the run out of Cops, now through coming all the way down. Is that someone going into the wall there?
Looks like Paul Millman's got it a little bit wrong, leaving turn 9, I believe that is, as we see them heading through Maggots Beckett's now.
Yeah, very fast. These cars sliding all over the curbs. Bit of a 4-wheel slide is nothing too scary, as Rob Whitney runs it very wide there. I don't think he's going to find much grip out on the grass out there as we run all the way down that hanger straight down towards Stowe Corner. One of the very most favouriteest, I think is probably the best way of describing it, overtaking spots on this track. It's a very heavy braking zone, but with one you can carry a lot of speed through is Stowe Corner. If you get it right, you can carry a load of speed out onto that exit curb and on the run down towards the Vale Chicane.
As you see Alan Matthews losing out there at the bottom of the Wellington Straight, losing third position to Will Harper. Will Harper climbing his way through the grid nicely. He's alongside Rob Whitney. Now, Rob Whitney, interestingly, on the soft tyre. He is the only one in the entire session running that soft tyre, so he might struggle towards the end of the session, especially with the slidey nature of these Alfa 75 cars, but he should be fairly pacey at the start of the race here at the moment.
Yeah, not much of a chance to get much testing on the tyre compounds for these guys, as we explained. Some issues with the servo earlier on, meaning that these guys did not get the practice session, the practice quality that they usually get. As we see those flames spitting everywhere out the side.
Yeah,
of that
old school turbocharged cars are always fun to watch. We've seen Matt Daly looks like he's had a bit of an issue there. He's dropped back in that corner there.
Yeah, dropped all the way back down to 4th position, although this is a very tight pack for the lead here, so I'm sure he's not too worried about that as he gets all over the back of Al Matthews, I believe that is there in P3, looking to be as huge as he can in the mirrors, going to the outside, going to the inside, going back to the outside again, weaving all over the place, staying behind under braking as we see the standard flames flying outside and brake discs glowing red there. Looks as though he is biding his time, trying to be as patient as he can, as we see the cars up in front of him, scrambling around for position all over the track there, using all of the exit curb. There is Rob Whitney.
Amazing. And on the fly, in the meantime, as we see Will Harper going down the inside alongside Rob Whitney, trying to take that lead, but Rob Whitney able to box him off. It looks like there's contact. It's quite laggy there. I was about to say, on our end, I somewhat fixed the lag. A small graphic charge change midstream seems to have sorted the issue to some extent. I'm going to have to do a bit more work on that though, but they are 3 wide there, and Will Harper seems to have lost out there, currently running 3rd.
Yeah, Matt Daly back up to P2 after a small mistake earlier on in the lap. Whoa, looking like there's a bit of argy-bargy, shall we say, going on into the braking zone. Of course, F1 cars, as we all see, go through that section there at a rate, but these cars nowhere near the grip, nowhere near the downforce, having to get on the brakes on the way into Maggots and Beckett's, and that can always lead to some interesting moments where cars sort of fly very close to the back end of each other. As we see them running down towards Stowe once again, 3 wide it looks into Stowe, P1, 2 and 3. Could we see a lead change here? Looks as though we are not. Spoke too quick soon. Matt Daly taking the lead there now, so he's back up into P1 after that small mistake earlier on in the lap.
Yes, Matt Daly climbing his way back up then, and I am very quickly going to have to pause proceedings for a second while we sort these technical issues that we're having. We'll be back in about 50 seconds. Okay, and we fixed some of those issues. Apologies for the delay, though. We lost a couple minutes worth of racing, but it's still Matt Daly in the lead at the moment, and it looks like the current battle on track is between Rob Whitney and Alan Matthews. Alan Matthews trying to gain on Rob Whitney on those soft tyres as we come towards the end of the lap now. And
looks as though we are still experiencing some element of lag issues, unfortunately. However, this looks like a good battle on track there. Is that Will Harper and... who's he fighting with there? Greg Young, perhaps?
Yeah, Greg Young and Will Harper. About half a second between as we come towards the end of the lap for them now. The final corner, as we see Greg Young getting over the curb there and getting a little bit exuberant and quite the slide on. Able to salvage it at the very end there. Very well done to him to catch that. These cars aren't particularly easy to catch. Not the longest wheelbase in the world. Looks like Matt Daly's had further issues. Again, looks like, I don't know if he's come off the tracker or anything, but yeah, not... that was a shame as well. He just set his best lap of the race so far. He's currently running 3rd now, and Rob Whitney back up into the lead of this race.
Yeah, so it looks as though Matt Daly potentially, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's come off at the same corner each time. I think it's been at Cops, or it may well have been at Turn 1, where he's had 2 issues now, as we see.
So Rob Whitney getting quite a slide on, and a lock-up from Alan Matthews just to add to all the drama through that corner there.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the quickest way to go through that corner, but it is very good looking. It must be said. Those cars do look good when they've got a bit of a slide on. As we see coming down the old pit straight now, jumping over with James Rose, as always, my personal favourite livery in that the old Alfa Romeo Formula One testing livery from a few years ago. Will Harper and James Rose within about half a second of each other still, as they look to be running down towards Copse down the old back straight, or the old pit straight rather. Having a look to the inside, maybe probably far too far back for that on this lap, but just kind of getting in the mirrors again and trying to put him off his braking point maybe.
Although I imagine the slipstream in these cars quite helpful. Obviously, they are shaped a bit like a cheese wedge, that Giugiaro design. So any kind of breakup they can get, he will use, as Will Harper did through that corner there, to get past for 5th position. As we see a change in the lead as well. It looks like Rob Whitney, unfortunately, has gone off. Maybe those soft tyres starting to lose a little bit of life. Yeah, what a shame to see his race come to an end like that. That does promote John Baker, currently leading the AM race, into 3rd position. So he's done very well so far at the start of this race, and Rob Whitney shows how close the pack is in this race so far. Really struggling with the rear end on that car. I think we're seeing some Formula Drift now down in P7, unfortunately, but there's still a very close battle for the lead ongoing. Alan Matthews holding that lead. Matt Daly climbing his way through the field again and riding that curve. I don't know if you caught that with the lag, which I still need to solve. But yes, riding that curve and getting a bit of air for his troubles.
Yeah, definitely not the quickest way through that corner, and once again, probably the best looking way through it. It looks as though he decided to get a little bit exuberant on the brakes, maybe very brave, trying to close that gap up. Took a little bit too much curb, took the curb sideways, which I don't think is going to do wonders for his car's performance, and I think that will probably be a fairly expensive repair after the fact, as we've momentarily lost coverage there. But he looks as though he's kept it going in the right direction, kept the car relatively close, only about 2 seconds down, but he's closing that gap all the time to Alan Matthews, who is probably just looking as far up the road as he can, not looking in his mirrors, and just trying to get as far up as he can, with only less than 10 minutes to go now. So just ticked over 9 minutes to go, or just ticked under 9 minutes to go, sorry, in this first race, or second race of the evening, as we see John Baker now getting harassed from behind by Will Harper.
They are side by side heading down into the tight left-hander. Under braking, we see Will Harper just a little bit braver there, able to get the move done, takes 3rd position, so he's climbed his way back through the field nicely.
Yeah, once again, another very popular overtaking spot down at Brooklands there. That very sharp right-hander after the Wellington Straight. Very easy to get your nose up the inside there, and as long as you can maintain some momentum through Luffield, you'll always look to make the position there. I think John Baker is probably quite happy with where he is at the moment. Quite high up the order, getting some very good points in that AM Championship.
Yes, and elsewhere on track, we see Matt Daly trying to catch up to Alan Matthews again. He's about 1.5 seconds behind him now as we head through Maggotts Beckett, and the back end on that car is absolutely flying out. These 75s are always a sight to behold on any racetrack you take them to. Obviously, the gearbox actually being in the back on these, they're a transaxle car, so there's a lot of weight hanging over the back axle, and that kind of provides some interesting handling characteristics, shall we say.
Yeah, and it does make for some very good driving to watch as we see these guys try and catch these slides as they happen mid corner, sometimes on braking as well. I've seen it a couple of times now where guys just get a bit heavy on the brakes and the back end starts to want to overtake the front, and that is not the quickest way to slow your car down.
No, as we see John Baker still doing a relatively good job to keep up pace with Will Harper, although Greg Young was quite fast through the end of the Wellington Straight there, and he gets past before Vale. That was a very nice move under braking from Greg Young.
Yeah, good to see the nice bit of clean racing there. I think John Baker potentially got a little bit close on the run out of Stowe there, and nearly had a bit of a sort of door-on-door accident there, but good to see that was avoided, and the move done very tidy under braking on the way into the chicane.
I am aware that this is effectively at the moment a radio show. We are trying to get these technical issues resolved, and we may actually have another quick dropout while we definitely for sure fix them. Yes, I will in fact probably do that right now, and we should be able to be back with you right before the final few laps of this race.